Hemmer's pretty straight down the middle with these guys. I told you, give the guy a chance. I don't work there anymore. I got no dog in the fight. I'm not his agent. But I just told you he's not going to go and embarrass himself or the network. I thought he asked pretty good questions. Tell me in the chat if you think I'm wrong. I mean, I'm open to other opinions. Maybe I'm biased and I don't know, but I don't think so. I watched the same 25-minute interview you did. I saw an interviewer asking questions, redirecting constantly back to the point, and then I saw a presidential candidate making an absolute buffoon out of herself. She looked like a bozo. Here is an excellent summary from an account I just followed today, which is excellent, on Twitter. What is it called? Apoctos? APOC? Is it TZ or something? TOZ. Really cool account. Just saw this morning, followed him back. Here is an unbelievable summary. It's about 15 seconds of the most substantive answers Kamala Harris gave. She did give some with some deep substance, so you better understand who Kamala Harris is. Check it out.
Democrats voted.
Donald Trump, 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 and Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
President Biden had a fundraiser debate stage.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Fellas, I told you to play the one with the substance, where she digs deep. She scratches the surface level stuff off and she gets right to the point, so you know what Kamala Harris is going to do if you kindly were to cast your vote for her out of the generosity of your heart. Yeah, that's it. That is it. That's basically a summary. Sadly, it's thank you, Apoctos on X. I love the little, if you're missing it on Apple or Spotify, there's a little Donald Trump dancing in the background. You know the Donald Trump dance, the Donald Trump boogie? Folks, if you watch the 25 minutes, folks in the chat, I'm looking right now. Anybody disagree? Did you get anything out of that interview other than, I suck, but you shouldn't like Donald Trump either? Was there a single answer where you feel she clarified her position? Transgender sex changes, what she did wrong at the border, anything? All right, now listen, all right, serious time. Although, that's kind of a joke, but it's not. That was, in essence, a summary of the entire freaking interview. Brett Baer saying, hey, the border's been open. Can you give me a number? Donald Trump. You're on video saying you want sex changes for president. Donald Trump. Here is a very good question I thought he asked. I said, I thought he did a great job. Listen, we can all do a better job. I'm going to interview Donald Trump tomorrow. I guarantee you, even P1s in a Bongino army, some of you are going to say, Dan, I wish you asked this. That's fine. You get an hour. Kamala Harris tried to filibuster through the whole thing. She said nothing. It's what you get. Here he asked a question about Biden's mental faculties. This is why I told you they are in chaos. This Kamala Harris latest push for Donald Trump's medical records is so hilarious in its stupidity. I'm actually stunned even her chaotic, ridiculous campaign is going down this road, knowing they're leaving themselves open for a question like this. Hey, all of a sudden you're interested in medical records. When did you notice Joe Biden's mental faculties failing? And this speaks to Kamala Harris's candor or lack thereof. She can't have it both ways, ladies and gentlemen. It's a binary. Either Joe Biden was mentally incompetent to run for president and shouldn't be in office now, and you should have noticed it, or you were so obtuse and power hungry, you pushed him out and still won't admit why you pushed him out. Can you explain to me what option 3 is? Either she is a greedy, power-hungry loser who pushed her boss out, who gave her a chance on a DEI hire he mentioned, not us, or you just didn't recognize this guy's collapsing mental condition. Take a look at this.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the.
Well, how do you? Brett's in a bad spot, folks. The guy's got 25 minutes. Again, I'm nobody's PR rep here. Just trying to be realistic as a guy who's been in the content space for a long time. When you get liberals, they do this all the time. I'll prepare you now because some of you out there are going to have, some of you may have them now. I know we were just rated by a pretty cool, what was it, Deadhead Media or something like that. People rated it. Some of you have your own shows now, and you can attest in the chat that what I'm saying is absolutely true. You know it. Sorry, I'm just looking over. When you're interviewing liberals, they do this all the time. Liberals will never answer a question. My show today, here, look, it's a chaotic little scene because I had to take notes all over the place. It says, nothing they tell you is true. I'm going to go into that in a second. It's an important point. I'm telling you nothing liberals tell you is true. Please follow me. Conservatives have very clear positions. They are not afraid to defend them. I believe in life. I believe in school choice. I believe in low income tax rates, low capital gains tax rates, and I can defend why I believe that. Liberals do not believe in any of that, but they just don't want to say it. They believe in hiking your taxes, but they lie. They go, oh, fair share. The school choice, oh, you're bankrupting public schools. Nothing they tell you is true. In essence, dialing back to the beginning, Brett knows that. So what Kamala Harris is doing is she can't actually say what she wants to do. Open the border, cut prisoners' balls off at taxpayer expense. She can't say that. So what liberals do is they filibuster. So Brett asked her a simple question. When did you notice Joe Biden was struggling? The honest answer is probably the minute he asked me to be his vice president. She can't say that. So she's got to bullshit and filibuster. So he tries to bring her back, and there's nothing she's going to do. She just talks right over him because that's what Kamala Harris does. She's full of shit, folks. This is the single worst candidate to ever run for president in my soon-to-be 50 years on planet Earth. I'm serious, man. I've asked probably 100 people. Think about it. Pull yourself out. We've had some bad Republicans run for office, too, that just sucked. Were terrible campaigners. I mean, Mitt Romney comes to mind. There is no way Mitt Romney was a worse presidential campaigner. She's horrible. The woman, I tweeted out after this interview last night. I'm sitting there. I jump in the shower afterwards. Probably too much information, but I don't care. Because I've been watching this thing. I've been melting in the sauna trying to clear my head. I had a rough day, right? I'm sitting there listening to this thing on the Bluetooth, right? And Jim said it right. If you listen to the interview on audio, it's even worse. I get done. I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I was going to critique it point by point, and it's a waste of time. I tweeted out last night. I said, if you were under the impression that Kamala Harris was not an imbecile, please watch the Brett Baer interview, and it'll disabuse you of that notion immediately. What an embarrassing, humiliating, disgraceful mess this woman is. That nothing she tells you is true. So all of America and the Democrat Party noticed Joe Biden was mentally collapsing. You're supposed to be his number two, his deputy, and you didn't notice it, and you think people believe you. Here was another great question. You keep telling people that you're going to be this continuation of Joe Biden. You're not going to change anything. Everything Joe Biden did was great. The inflation, the chaos, the border. What is it? Are you going to be you say you're turning the page on what? You said you're the same as Biden. Receipts incoming too. Great question. Again, more bullshit from Kamala Harris. Check this out.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
Folks, how do we know Kamala Harris is bullshitting? Again, folks in the chat, why are we like the supermarket? Always with receipts. Every time. Why would we think we're going to get 4 more years of Joe Biden and Joe Biden's policies? Because Kamala Harris has been the vice president and the last person in the room during the Joe Biden presidency and the decisions, which he has said she was knee deep in. And she just said on The View that she can't think of a single thing she would have done different. Don't listen to Danny Botts. Listen to Kamala Harris. Check this out.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm not sure that's a real campaign ad or not, but it should be. Now, I'm glad they included the extra part at the end. I want you to notice, in case you say, well, she says she wouldn't do anything different, but she didn't necessarily take credit for what happened. It's some bullshit. She just said after that, and yes, basically I was in the room making all these decisions. Folks, I don't know what else you need to hear. This is Kamala Harris, in Kamala Harris's own words, telling you Kamala Harris is going to continue what Kamala Harris has done to you for the last 3 3/4 years. What else could you possibly want to hear? She's saying it herself. One more from last night. The interview was cut short. They panicked at the end. I know this business well. No one's going to tell me how this business goes. I've seen it. I've gotten into fights on the air. That Hawk Newsom BLM guy comes to mind. That lady I got into it with over gun control in Australia. I've been in combative interviews with 60 Minutes. I played them on the show, folks. You've seen them between Unfiltered and on Fox. And this, maybe at the end of the year, we'll put some highlight reel together of these things. I've done this before. Kamala Harris's team realized, I'm going to guess at about 5 to 7 minutes in, they'd made a huge mistake. I don't care what liberals are telling you. Ian Sams and all the douchebag, tentacle porn kids in the basement telling you how great Kamala Harris is. I don't care what they're telling you. I'm telling you objectively, and I've got a track record of success. Last night was a debacle. At a 1 out of 10, it was a 2. I think the only thing that could have gone worse is if there was some kind of medical episode, God forbid. This was a disaster for them, a disaster. They did not convince a single undecided voter that they are, in fact, the candidate of moderation, change, whatever kind of democracy, whatever bullshit they're pitching. Last one, low light. This is one of the best questions I've seen asked yet because he drills down on a specific number. And you can see here Kamala Harris is panicking when it comes to the border. Kamala Harris was the border czar. That's a fact. There's no question about that. Everyone knows it. She was appointed the border czar. Granted, border czar is not an official position. She was appointed as in a series of responsibilities by Joe Biden to run the border. Obviously, Kamala Harris, who sucks at everything in her life, who is awful, has never had a successful venture in her entire life, total train wreck, the weakest resume in American history to run for president. She can't admit that when she got control of the border, in the entire Trump presidency, was it about 3 million entered or 8 million? So more than double, and we're not even done with the Biden presidency. She can't admit that. So Brett pins her down on a number. Watch her try to dance her way out of this. This is probably the worst answer she gave the entire night. Check this out.
Voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
This woman's pathetic. She's a joke. This woman is a laughing stock. Folks, again, I'm not one of these asshole liberals like, I'm going to leave the country if she gets elected. You think I'm forfeiting my country to this piece of garbage? She's terrible. She's a genuinely awful human being. You think I'm going to cede my country? There's not a freaking chance. I'm going to deal with probably the worst 4 years of my life, and we're going to get through it and try to repair nearly insurmountable damage. I'm just telling you right now, we've got a great chance to end this woman's disastrous political career. Comparing the Border Patrol, the Ku Klux Klan, the open border policies, the inflation. This woman is a one-woman wrecking ball. She has been as destructive as Hillary Clinton to the United States, our international security. She is an absolute train wreck. And notice what she does there. She reframes the question into some kind of hey, we should have a conversation. Whenever someone says we should have a conversation, the first response from the interview, I'm not knocking Brett because he tries to stay online with the number, but when someone says we should have a conversation, guys, what do you think they should say, guys? That's what we're here for. We're having a conversation. Why do you have to say something so stupid like let's have a conversation when we're having a conversation? Then she says, let's just get to the point. He just asked you to get to the point. What's the number? What's the number? She will never tell you the number, folks, because the number is a disaster. We have had double the number of encounters since this moron took over the border. The woman is an imbecile, folks. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry I have to tell you this. The woman is an imbecile. The largest live stream audience in the world. Spread the word. The woman is genuinely stupid. Hillary Clinton's not dumb. Oh, you can't say that. No, I can because I worked around her. She's not stupid. She may be evil, and she may be tactically really a troubling mess to deal with, and she was for a long time. But Hillary Clinton is not stupid. I'm telling you from ironclad, this woman is an imbecile. And if she is the president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, the Chinese Communist Party is licking its chops right now. Oh, something else happened with China? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They are waiting for a second. Put aside all the horrors, the border, the inflation, everything else that's going to go to total chaos if she wins. The Chinese Communist Party is just sitting there praying Kamala Harris gets elected. Quick break. I'm just telling you right now, receipts incoming. Hey, your most precious commodity is time. People ask me for advice all the time about self-improvement and life hacks. You know what the greatest life hack of all is? Getting smarter. It's true. That's why I'm really excited Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses in the most important and enduring subjects. You know, I wrote in my book that one of the best things you can do is never waste time. You want to really get smarter, learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, or the history of the ancient Christian church with Hillsdale College's online courses. Get a load of this, all available for free. For free. I personally recommend you sign up for Ancient Christianity. I've been powering through these courses. They are absolutely incredible. In your downtime, there is no better way. It's an 11-lecture course. You'll study the inspiring stories of Christ, his apostles, and faithful ones throughout the first 4 centuries of Christianity. You also learn the arguments of key Christian apologists who defended the faith in the face of persecution. The course is self-paced, folks. Start and stop whenever, wherever you want. Enroll now in Ancient Christianity. Discover the improbable, miraculous story of Christianity. Go right now to hillsdale.edu/Bongino to enroll. Listen, there's no cost, and it's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/Bongino to register. Hillsdale.edu/Bongino. Really amazing courses. Extremely highly recommended. Getting back to the show, I have told you over and over, folks, red flags in the chat. And these are red flags we never, ever want to happen. The Chinese Communist Party is preparing for something big. How many receipts do I have to show you? I'm not, by the way, these aren't crazy lunatic Tumblr bloggers with 2 followers wearing tinfoil caps on their heads. These are mainstream media outlets who you may or may not trust, but have been around a long time and would probably get sued if they were making this stuff up. The Wall Street Journal has written a number of stories about Chinese drones, or what could be Chinese drones, I want to be precise, scoping out our military bases. China and their intelligence officers planting bugs in our infrastructure and probing out our infrastructure, water, bridges, and other things. Here's another one. China test drives a Taiwan blockade. China this weekend practiced a military blockade of Taiwan. That's an all too real future possibility for the liberals, a blockade, meaning they seal off the island via the Chinese Navy. Do you have any idea what a disaster this would be? Well, maybe they're hiding the drill's purpose. Oh, look at the article. Beijing isn't hiding the drill's purpose. The Ministry of National Defense said the exercise on Monday focused on sea-air combat readiness patrol, blockades on key ports and areas, and an assault on maritime and ground targets, as well as joint seizure of comprehensive superiority. I don't know about you, Guy, but that sounds like they're laying out exactly what they want to do. Maybe it's a mostly, if MSNBC covers it, it'll be a mostly peaceful blockade and invasion and assault on maritime and ground targets. Mostly peaceful. Mostly peaceful. Folks, how many signs you need? You think I'm crazy? Can I tell you something? I always say, can I tell you something as if I'm not going to tell you? Like I'm waiting for you to. Well, with the chat, I can. No, don't tell us. Yeah, no, don't tell us, right? There's a source of mine, a very good national security source, and a friend of mine. Listen, am I going to oversell it? I'm just going to tell you he is very, very, very concerned about this. He thinks this threat is real. China has already said be prepared by 2027 to invade Taiwan. And he's prepared about the cascade of horribles that happens if this blockade happens. Because think about it. Do you think the world is just going to stand by? I'm not asking what your personal opinion is. Whether we should or shouldn't get involved in Taiwan, you're free to have your own opinion on. I'm just telling you, do you think the world's going to stand by? And the answer is no, they won't. What happens when the first ship approaches that blockade and says, we're delivering this food to Taiwan, there's nothing you can do, and China sinks it? What do you think happens? Folks, the answer is it going to be World War III? I don't like World War III predictions. Could it be close? It could. It scares the hell out of this guy. And anyone telling you on TikTok or elsewhere, like, oh, this is never going to happen, they're probably the same people who told you Russia would never invade Ukraine. Or that Hamas was looking for a peaceful two-state solution. I'm telling you, the Chinese Communist Party is going like this. They are licking their lips right now. Waiting for Kamala Harris to win this election. Because they know she's weak and they know she's stupid. Folks, how do we know these people are disingenuous on the left that are selling us the fake Comrade Kamala bullshit? Because everything they tell you is fake. It is easily provable bullshit. Everything. Nothing they tell you is true. Receipts incoming. You ready? Remember during the debate, who was it? Was it David Muir or the other one during the debate? Insisting that crime is down, implying that Harris and Biden had something to do with these lowered crime rates. And remember, all of us were scratching our heads in the chat and elsewhere. And we were like, how is crime down? The FBI has already told us, well, number one, this is not an exclusive data set. Big cities were missing. And these are only reported crimes. In a lot of these liberal cities, so much crime happens, people don't even report it. The best way to figure out how bad the crime is to take a victim survey. Gee, wouldn't it be great if we had a thing called the National Crime Victim Survey? What? Oh, shit, Guy says we do have that. And then when you look at the National Crime Victim Survey, you find out that crime is up dramatically. Oh, look, Dan Bongino, conspiracy theory number 600,000, proven correct. The revised FBI crime data reveals that it originally missed 1,699 murders in 2022. Given that the FBI has said, hey, all murders are reported because people are like dead and stuff, how does the FBI miss that many? Convenient, right, folks? Oh, look at the data. The revised FBI data shows the increases in crime. Look at that. It's almost like the FBI was bullshitting us again. Remember Boot Edge too? The transportation secretary? Boot Edge. Remember him? He's told us with the racist bridges loser, guy who got off out of his car with 100 feet to go to the White House, got on the bike, pretended he rode his bike to the White House. Remember him? Remember Pothole Pete? Here's his tweet from September 24th. Crime is down. Crime is down. Really, it's down. It's almost like the FBI included. And then he wrote, oh, I forgot about this one. September 24th, same day. Some here doubt and deny the FBI data showing crime is down. A lot of this is just politics. Really? Just politics. Sounds like the politics are coming from one end. And it certainly ain't ours. Boot Edge. Folks, everything they tell you is bullshit. Nothing I'm telling you is bullshit. I had a fact checker. If you want to see this freaking bozo, you can go to my X thing on PolitiFact. Fact check a piece we did about people being bused to a Kamala rally, saying it was mostly false, except for the fact the video we showed were people being bused to a Kamala rally by a CBS outlet in a liberal city. This is where we are right now. Everything they tell you is bullshit. Remember the administration and the media and Martha Raddatz saying, the Venezuelan gang problem, they've only taken over a handful. Only a half. There's a great meme, by the way. Can you guys find it? Justin, fine. It's on my Twitter feed. I don't know who did it, but it's J.D. Vance smirking with Martha Raddatz. She's got like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question for me. How many is okay? You got to find that. Martha Raddatz saying the Venezuelan gang problem, trying to play it down. Got a little update on that. Not only is the Venezuelan gang problem an issue in Aurora, it's an issue in New York, too. Man, who would be on talking about that? I don't know, maybe an NYPD guy? You think he knows? Nah, it's only the New York City Police Department. Quick break, last break. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to show you again. Everything they tell you is bullshit. You can vote for the party of bullshit, or you can vote for the party that tells you the truth. You don't have to agree with it all the time, but at least you know what you're arguing against. Folks, today's economic environment is still really stressful for a lot of us, but with the Fed finally dropping interest rates, there's no better time than now to put you and your family in a better financial position. If you're a homeowner, American Financing is helping thousands of families just like you who've been putting everyday expenses on credit cards get out from underneath the debt by tapping into what? Your home's equity. American Financing, moved me a long time. American Financing is saving their borrowers over $800 a month on average. That's a lot. $800 a month's like a $10,000 raise at work, and it costs absolutely nothing to find out how much you can save. They're closing some in as little as 10 days. If you start today, you may not have to make next month's mortgage payment. There's no better time than now to turn your situation around. So call today, 888-994-7660. That's 888-994-7660. The website's .net. It's AmericanFinancing.net, not .com, .net. AmericanFinancing.net, AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 122334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. And our last sponsor today, thanks American Financing, is Beam. Folks, you know I love their Dream Powder because sometimes I had trouble staying asleep and falling asleep. Listen, it's not about just feeling tired the next day. Poor sleep takes a really dramatic toll on your body. But there's hope on the horizon. It comes in the form of Beam's Dream Powder. I really enjoy this product a lot. See, when we're sleeping well, we're sharper, we're more focused and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. We got a big day tomorrow. I'll be taking my Beam Dream Powder tonight. You want a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder? It's a science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. It's never tasted better. We got one for you. See, these other sleep aids, they cause the next day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. Helps you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Want to try it? Beam's best-selling Dream Powder? Beam's now offering Bongino listeners a big discount. Get up to 45% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 45% off. I thought we were told by Kamala Harris and Martha Raddatz, who's basically a campaign surrogate posing as a fake news journalist. I thought, there's the meme, by the way. Come on, guys. Tell me this isn't the best meme you've seen in a long time. Here's Martha Raddatz on, what's that? Is that Millionaire Show? Whatever it is. The acceptable number of apartment complexes taken over by illegal alien alien gangs is a handful, a bushel, 3 or 0. Then you got JD with the look, giving her a little JD Vance side eye. He should patent that. There it is. There it is, Martha. We were told the Venezuelan gang problem is no big deal. Don't sweat it. Well, isn't that? Come on, that's the best side eye you've ever seen for a guy. That's high class fucking side eye right there. I mean, you're not gonna find better side eye than that, folks. But look at this. Come on, I can't even do that. I can't pull that. I don't even know how he does that. What is that muscle in the eye? The lateral rectus or something? Like his is really strong. I don't know. Maybe it's his time in the Marine Corps scanning targets and stuff. This guy is on it, man. Like freaking white on rice. Watch this. Here's an NYPD guy on Fox News or whatever, some morning show, talking about the Venezuelan gang. What is it, CBS or something? Oh, it is Fox. Okay. Local Fox. Talking about the Venezuelan gang problem. Not in Aurora. That's bad enough, but in New York. Check this out.
What started out as a robbery crew, upwards of 50 robberies, 20 individuals arrested for upwards of 50 robberies and out of those 20 individuals, every single one of them is on the streets today. So
that's crazy. Now, there are reports that they're operating the Roosevelt Hotel. which used to be a very nice hotel in New York City. Now it's a migrant shelter. What are we talking about? What's going on inside this hotel that is now spilling out into the Times Square area?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a recruitment process. And
folks, what else? What guys in the chat, what are we talking about? Just so you remember, I want to keep everybody grounded. I like this show to be informative. You know, humor's great, but that's not my goal here. I'm not a comedian. I'm not Sebastian Maniscalco. Everything they tell you is bullshit. Did we not make our point? We told you the FBI numbers were fake. Oh, look, the FBI admits the numbers were fake. What else could you possibly want to hear? The Venezuelan gang problem. Martha Raddatz, J.D. Vance, let's be real. This is not a big problem. It's only a handful. Not only is a handful a big freaking deal, now you got a guy from the NYPD like, man, they're just taking over hotels now, too. I'm going up to New York tomorrow. You know what I told my wife? I'm only doing it because, you know, I got this business ban on New York. I don't want to do any business up there. I have to do the Trump interview. I had to make an executive decision. I told her, guys, did I not? Get me the hell out of New York as soon as possible. I'm going to Charlotte after that, going to a concert. You can figure it out. She's like, do you want to stay? I said, no, I do not want to stay in New York. I do not. I'm from there. I know New York well. Get me out. Get me out. They're taking over hotels now. I thought it wasn't a problem. Here, you want to watch another bullshit segment? You know what? Can we do this in reverse? Put the CNN article up first. Remember the Ferguson effect? After the riots in Ferguson, the Ferguson effect is real. I talked about it many times. After the anti-police riots, the Ferguson effect, the gist of it is a lot of cops backed off. I had tons of cops telling me in New York, hey, listen, keep that up. It was so real, as a matter of fact, in 2015, CNN wrote a whole article about it. FBI chief tries to deal with the Ferguson effect, that cops were holding back. I already told you the story that after the Ferguson anti-police riots, right? What wound up happening was cops felt like they weren't being supported for doing their jobs. I had probably 15, 20 cops from around the country reach out to me, supervisors telling me that their cops, people were waving them down for stuff, and the cops, I'm not saying I agree with it or not, folks. I'm just telling you that a lot of cops just kept going. Their whole idea was, we can't stop, because if we stop, these people are just going to blame us for whatever happens. So crime went crazy. The Ferguson effect is so real. Again, CNN wrote a whole story on it. How the FBI was freaking out because the defund the police and all this other crap after the unrest in Ferguson screwed up all the policing. It's real. I'm not saying I agree with any of it. I'm just saying the Ferguson effect was real. Why am I bringing this up now? Because everything they tell you is bullshit. Here's Ryan Gadersky on CNN, brings up the Ferguson effect, and the hosts, these are hosts, folks. Their job is to know shit. That's their job. The hosts on CNN are like, Ferguson effect? What the hell's that? We never heard of that before. It's your freaking job to know what it is. Watch yourself.
Just yesterday, Ryan, about how in the context of riots, he was saying, let's just bring the military into it to deal with American citizens. I mean, that happened yesterday.
Right, but the post-George Floyd riots resulted in an excess of over 15,000 black male deaths in this country. How?
Yeah.
The surge of violent crime, it was like Ferguson, the Ferguson effect and the Floyd effect.
Respectfully, you got to explain to me how George Floyd's death.
Yeah.
Because I need causation here.
Yes,
you really are
because what happens is after the Ferguson riot and after the Floyd riot, policemen, in fear of their jobs many times and political coverage, pull back from their jobs, resulting in an increased level of homicide.
I got to stop you there because, hold on.
You can look at the Washington Post.
Ryan, we got to stop you there because you're literally making a connection out of your own conjecture.
No,
you cannot
it's
just
a real
do
thing.
that.
Look up the Ferguson effect. Look up the Floyd effect. It is a real term.
You cannot
it's a real term. I didn't make this up.
Invent a connection between two things.
Holy Moses. Put it up again, fellas. FBI chief tries to deal with the Ferguson effect. By who? CNN. Oh, brothers and sisters, how does it feel to always be on the right side? Are we ever wrong? Folks in the chat, Bongino on the case. Are we ever wrong? Can you tell me, honestly, guys, think about it. Everyone, let's crowdsource here. Has there been a single political narrative of consequence? I'm not talking about like wrong about, hey, what color is that cat? It's orange. No, it's chartreuse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about big story. Star Wars, the whole forget that. People, there'll be a revolt in the chat. Star Wars, yes, the Rogue One thing still is ongoing to this day. A major political narrative of time. Can you name one single one we've been wrong about? Ferguson effect, FBI crime statistics, Spygate, the school choice data, the Trump tax cuts, Joe Biden's cognitive condition. What? Can you name a single thing we've been wrong about? Folks, everything they tell you is bullshit. You have a choice to rebuke this. You have a choice right now. There are so many states, Georgia, Virginia, Florida, early voting's happening. You can go and make a choice today. By the way, before I go to my next, I'm on my, he didn't say that I can name who it is. So a pretty big conservative, fuck it. You don't care if I tell you who it is. Charlie Kirk is texting me during the show. So 11:08 before. He's like, Dan, please tell your audience. I'm reading it here. Keep pushing voting early. Quote, Charlie, I'm assuming this was okay to share. He says, we're crushing them in Arizona and Georgia right now. Please every day mention to go vote now. I'd show you if his number didn't pop up. I don't want to dox the guy. What video? Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a perfect time. And I'll get back to this. Yeah, it's a perfect time. I'll go out a little bit. Folks, I'm going to read this to you one more time. It's from Charlie Kirk. Dan, we're crushing them right now in early voting in Arizona. Please, and Georgia. Please mention go vote now. Don't wait. Everybody's telling you this. Everyone. Trump, Laura Trump, Don Jr., Eric Trump, the entire Trump family. Trump bag of donuts. There's a Trump bag of donuts. No, but if there was, he'd tell you to vote early too. Everybody. Scott Pressler, Charlie, me, Beck, everybody, Levin, go vote in person early. Vote early. They don't know what to do. It's going to make them freak out and panic. I want you to watch how bad this is. I was going to play this towards the end, but this is so good. Good reminder. Is this MSNBC, by the way? In case you think, again, I'm full of shit, that this early voting thing, they're not freaking out. Well, stop. I don't want to get. I'm too excited about today's show. I'm a little too wired up. I got to be honest with you. Whew, deep breath. If the early voting, if you out there saying, "Oh, why would I early vote?" The Democrats would not be panicking, and they are. Listen to this MSNBC segment. This isn't Fox, where they go to this Arizona, and they go down and they start that they're looking at an early voting line. They can't find a single person, not a single one, voting for Kamala Harris. Why do you think they're playing this segment? Because they're freaking out. Watch.
And I should note, we did not find a single person who audibly would tell us that they voted for Kamala Harris. These were Trump supporters getting out to vote early in the all-important Mojave County. Take a listen to some of our conversations.
Well, the difference is going to be that everybody's coming out early. And everybody that we talked to has made a special effort this year to vote, and you can see it here in the parking lot. You know, this library's usually got 5 cars in it. There's a ton of cars in it now.
Said you voted early for the first time.
For the first time.
Why did you vote early this year?
Honestly, because Donald Trump told me to.
What a good answer.
He keeps saying it, and I've been thinking about it, and so here I am.
Listen, bros and sisters. These two arguments can't exist at the same time. I'm voting for Donald Trump. I love him and I think he could be president, but he's so stupid for telling me to vote early. Those things do not exist. He understands what I do. Are they going to cheat? Yes. It makes it harder. I don't care what anyone on Twitter is telling you. They are probably, what do they call it? Like controlled opposite bullshit stuff. These things, they're lying to you. They're working for the other side. People telling you not to vote early. I'm telling you are working for the other side. I'm telling you they're doing it. Trump knows it too. He's not stupid. His team is saying, yes, they're going to cheat. It's going to make it really hard if registered Republicans show up to vote and beat the Democrats. It's going to make it on election day too big for them to find the shit anywhere else. Please, just listen to me, man. Get out there and vote the day the polls open. I have been hammering this for months now. In person, vote early. because everything they're telling you is bullshit. Remember when Georgia passed some common sense voter security, election security measures? Of course, CNN in 2021 called it putting cologne on Jim Crow. Really disgusting, gross, filthy, dirty racial division, race hustling loser bullshit from Fred Recca shouting and Kelly Mina, who should be embarrassed. I'm sure their parents tell them they have no kids. Jim Crow? That's pretty freaking disgusting. Here was another one from CNN. Georgia passed some just common sense election integrity measures. Georgia's new law is suppressing the vote is a victory for Trump. Justin, what does suppressing the vote mean to you? What do you think that means? Yeah, suppressing the vote, meaning that those evil Republicans trying to clean up elections or trying to stop people from voting. Folks, it worked. The Republicans passed this Jim Crow stuff. It was so bad. Did you hear about it, Justin? Nobody's voting at all in Georgia now. Oh, shit. He says, you're a liar. You're a liar, Bongino. I don't want to work here anymore for you. Buffoon. What are you, taking your lessons from the Harris campaign? Dan is wrong, folks. My batting average is down a point. Caitlin Collins, who happens to work at CNN, she was the movie critic at the Daily Caller or something. Very qualified for the job, obviously. At CNN, she actually is movie critic because they do tell a lot of stories. You like that? I didn't even plan that. Caitlin Collins, roughly 252,000 ballots were cast in Georgia today, shattering the record of 136,000. Can you put that article up again about voter suppression? I thought CNN told us that the evil, dastardly, racist, Jim Crow, Dixiecrat, Southern Democrat Republicans were suppressing voters. It says it right there. That's it. The evil Republicans suppressing illegals. That's it. The good point, Michael. That's weird because it's totally racist. It's weird because, again, we're almost at like almost double the previous record of 2020 for early voting. It's so hard to vote in Georgia because of those evil Jim Crow Republicans that twice as many people did it. It's so hard. It's so hard. Why? Everything they tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is what? Put it in the chat. Bullshit. Everything. For liberal, I know there's some crazy liberals in the chat. We don't like you, by the way. Matter of fact, I don't even like you listening to my show. I wish you'd leave. But if you're here, can you answer why you have to lie about everything? Are you freaking stupid all the time, or are you just stupid on Thursdays? Is it a Monday through Thursday thing? Were your mom and dad dumb? Is it a gene thing? Were you taught to be stupid? Was it nature? Was it nurture? Did you get some kind of injection when you were younger? Was it a vaccination of facts? Are you always this freaking stupid? You realize you're making an argument about voter suppression as twice as many people showed up? You know how dumb you look? I mean, you generally look stupid naturally. But I'm talking about like when you open your mouth, you look even dumber, which is hard. Crime is down. That's not accurate. The FBI is not reporting some data. Oh, look, FBI found new murders. Oh, my gosh, crime is up. Sounds like something we says. Venezuelan gangs aren't really a problem. NYPD guy. Venezuelan gangs are taking over hotels. Oh, my gosh. Sounds like something we said. Here's another one that just personally pisses me off because everything they tell you is stupid and liberals are stupid. They're stupid. They're stupid. And liberals who live in primarily stupid areas of the country that have a lot of liberals. Listen, I love California. It's a beautiful place. And there are dumb liberals everywhere. But there are a lot of dumb liberals in California, folks. Mask mandates set to return in several California areas. You believe these dipshits? Let's put the mask on. Because they're so effective, those masks. They are. Wasn't there a study on masks? And it said how effective. It said they made a really big difference in preventing COVID. Yeah, you saw that. He's like, you're lying again, bro. You're lying again. I don't want to work here anymore. The study says the opposite. It does. Shit, my batting average is collapsing. I'm going to reach the Mendoza line soon. Fox News. Face masks made little to no difference in preventing the spread of COVID. Scientific review finds it doesn't matter. Why does it not matter? Anybody understand? No. Why does it not matter with liberals? Because they're freaking stupid. It doesn't matter. Liberals will do anything. They are little sheep. Whatever their little liberal masters tell them, they do because they're stupid. They're stupid people. That's why. Alejandro Mayorkas tells them the border is closed. There's an actual drone sitting there watching millions of people walk in the border. They're like, Alejandro Mayorkas said it's closed. Why? Because they're freaking stupid. They're stupid. And just be glad you are not one of these freaking morons. This is my favorite video of the show. Anyone know where I'm going with this? Not you guys. You get to see it in advance. Yeah, you're giving it. Did you hear that over the mic? Anyone know? A video came out yesterday. The door knocking's pretty good too. If you are the hardest of hardcore P1s, and you've been with me since this show started in 2015. Our first episode got 300 views or listens on SoundCloud in like a month. Our first in 2015. So for all intents and purposes, about 10 years ago. If you were one of the original 300, like the movie, Sparta, this is Sparta. If you were one of those original 300 cats, you know I've been telling you for 10 years. You can all go listen to the library. Barack Obama hates Joe Biden. Hates him. I work there. I can't. I don't have a lot. I'm just telling you it's true. Biden hates Obama too, but for different reasons, because he's jealous. Biden thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Don't laugh. It's true. Not that he's the smartest person in the room, that he believes it. He's obviously a moron. Biden thinks Obama's kind of an idiot and that the only reason Obama is popular is because of him. I know it sounds dumb. Daddy-o, trust me, it's true. They hate each other. Play this thing on VO. I'm going to voice over this. This happened yesterday. Was it that was it the funeral? Yeah, it was, right? Ethel Kennedy. Here it is. Watch the body language. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, you got to watch this. So here he is. Notice Obama's not even looking at Biden. But notice, can you pause that a second? Go back. Look, you're right there, okay? So they meet. They're getting ready to talk. It's Obama, Biden. They're in a pew at a church. Bill Clinton, the big dog, sitting over there like, I ain't getting involved with these two idiots. Biden is intently staring at Obama. But look, there you go. There's the pause. Folks, in the chat, where are Obama's eyes? He's not even looking at him. He hates this guy. I'm telling you, he knows Biden's an idiot. So it goes on. Here, now, like, look. Biden looks away. Like, look. Yeah, great pause. Hold it right there. Obama tells him something. I don't know what it was. People are speculating about Kamala. I have no idea. I don't say things I can't back up. My guess is, if I'm just speculating, he's probably telling him what a moron he is, okay? So clearly now, Biden's upset. Obama walks away and turns away from him. He's looking away. Look at where Biden's right arm is. He has to grab Obama again to get him to pay attention. I'm not a body language expert, folks, but I'm not an idiot either. These little micro and macro expressions, they have no respect. The Obama team has no respect for Biden at all. Keep it going a little bit. Watch, grabs him by the arm. Now, he's still not looking at him, Obama. But Biden's talking to him, nodding his head like whatever you're saying, it's probably moronic because you're an imbecile too. And sense the body language, the tilt. Look, he's like, the hand gestures by Obama. The arms are, good point. The arms are crossed by Obama like he's not even open to what Biden's saying. Folks, they hate each other. If you worked in this White House, they wanted nothing to do. Biden always wanted to be around Obama like a little puppy dog because he thought he was like the intellectual scion in the White House. Obama never wanted anything to do with this idiot. There you go. All right, is that like scientific proof they hate each other? There's no scientific metric of what hate in the brain looks like. I'm just telling you, I was there. Take it to the bank. These two can't stand each other. Guy thought this was going to be my video of the day because there's no body language reading necessary here at all. You guys see this? A Kamala Harris door knocker. The grassroots Kamala, what they call Kamala-mentum. It's here, folks. Guy gets this on a Ring doorbell. A Kamala door knocker comes up and knocks on this guy's door. Check this out. Get the response he gets. Listen to this.
Hello. What up, dog? My name is Alberto. We came from Culinary
I'm Alberto.
The
Kamala campaign.
Try to endorse votes for
we
Kamala
love
Harris.
communism, and we have a flag for you with a sickle and a hammer on it. It's a little red. Hey, play it one more time. Sorry, I was talking to her. Play it one more time. I blew it. I was talking to her. Totally my fault. Listen.
Hello. What up, dog? My name is Alberto. We came from Culinary Union Workers. I knock at the doors and try to endorse vote for Kamala Harris.
Fuck Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Folks, these videos are everywhere. All right, again, is this one anecdote evidence of some national red wave? No, if you mention a red wave, I kick you off the show. I'm just saying that they go to Arizona in a purple county trying to find a Kamala early voter. They can't find her. Everywhere you go in the black community, barber shops and elsewhere, I see Lawrence Jones been in a barbershop. Nobody can find a Kamala supporter anywhere. This has got to get embarrassing. And the campaign collapse continues. But you know what? I don't want to miss this. You got to play the Joy Reid video. Here's how bad it is right now. Joy Reid, she's our gold medal winner, right? Of course. Anita, you have the standings? She's the gold medal winner in the Dopey Media Talking Head Olympics. I don't see that changing, honestly, anytime soon. But not with content like this. This kind of stuff keeps Joy Reid training like Drago and Rocky IV. Remember that, the machine? He's like this, Drago, and Rocky's like, Drago! He's like, Joy is training. But unlike Drago, she just keeps winning. She just keeps winning. Joy is a winner. Yes, in the Dopey Media Talking Head Olympics. But listen to 40 seconds of copium by Joy Reid. As this completely collapses, the polls collapse. Black men are leaving Kamala Harris in droves. And now she starts accusing, yep, you guessed it, black men of being little mini fascists in the black community. I'm not kidding, man. As Guy said, with content like this, the bronze and the silver guy, they just have no chance. Check this out.
Have you noticed how sharply the polls have shifted in Trump's favor over the last couple weeks? With these claims that Trump is surging with black and Latino voters and leading in every single swing state, according to secret internal polls, despite all the Hitler talk. Yes, this race will be far too close. Because unfortunately, we do have a fascist groundswell in parts of this country, mainly among white men, let's be clear, but in small pockets among black and brown men, too. This happens to be a global phenomenon as women become more economically independent and seek positions of power.
There it is. Black men, you support Kamala Harris, you're little mini fascists. Joy Reid, who wrote a homophobic blog. No, she didn't. She says that the FBI is investigating a marauder who stole her blog or something. I wonder if there's a, Justin, can you get an update on that? Someone who broke in and hacked her blog or something like that. Thank you, Anita. Posted the listings. Joy Reid, gold. Joe Scarborough, silver. He's falling way behind. John Carl, bronze. He hasn't produced any good material lately. That's up for grabs, folks. Mr. Potato Head, Stelter, honorable mention. Always got to keep him on the charts somewhere. We'll see. Joy, however, is firmly entrenched in the gold spot. Now, I don't want to play this video right now, but I said last week I would play it, and I didn't. Guy is very upset at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's an election season, but did you see this weird video on TMZ? Guy loves this video. I'm doing this for Guy. There's this video on TMZ. Did you see the video of the dog turning into a dude that has all these people freaked out? Look, watch this. There's the dog. Do you see him? Little arrow. The dog walks out and turns into a dude. What the hell is that? Is that can someone out there, a video expert, confirm to me that this isn't like American Werewolf in London or something, or Silver Bullet? Is that like the priest with the eye patch and Silver Bullet? I mean, Stephen King was crazy and all, but maybe he was onto something. That video's bananas, isn't it? Guy said you have to play the dog video, the dead. Interest rates. I'll happily put them up in a library before the election. I'm not going to ask the same questions twice. I want you to know the Donald Trump I know, and I think this interview is going to be magic. Spread the word. Tell everyone. Bongino Army, McGroin crew, get out there. 9:45 a.m. Interview scheduled to start at 10 this Friday. It's going to be live. There's going to be no edits. It's going to be no nothing. It is going to be me. It's going to be Trump up in NYC, the Apple. And yes, it is going down. Guy's been working on this all morning. Guy's ready to quit today. Tell everyone in the chat. Tell Guy not to quit. Guy, it's GUI. Say, Guy, don't quit. Don't leave. Guy's ready to run out the door. He's been at it all morning. Okay. What are campaigns? They are snapshots and sound bites. I can't say this enough. If you don't understand this axiomatic truth about political campaigns, don't ever get involved in politics. If you think campaigns are about Kamala Harris's 72-page plan for black men in America, which is like weed and all this other stuff, which is really offensive, you are out of your mind. That's not what they're about. People remember little pictures they saw, campaigns, fight, the fight picture, right? Am I right? And they remember sound bites. Fight, fight, fight. You know, do you hear yourself, Martha? This is what people remember. This may be the most powerful headline of the election cycle so far. Here's what I'm talking about. New York Post. Ladies and gentlemen, this is big. This is big time. There's Border Patrol agents interviewing with the New York Post and says, and I quote, if Kamala Harris wins, I'm not doing this shit again. What do you think about a shirt? We're not doing this shit again. Would you guys be cool with that? Paula, if you're listening, I think we should do that. We've only got a little bit of time before the election. That would be a total banger. We're not doing this shit again, folks. Listen, man, this is bad. Here's why. Let me explain to you, because surface level thinking doesn't do you any good. Anyone can go on the air and go, this is a bad headline. Why? Two reasons. First is the one I just told you about. The soundbite out of this, not doing this shit again, the headline, is just awful for the left. It's terrible. If people on the inside at Border Patrol are telling, media reporters now, you have no idea how bad it is, we're all leaving if Kamala Harris wins, it is an absolutely devastating headline because immigration rates is one of the top 5 issues in just about every swing state. Try winning Arizona without the support of Border Patrol. Good luck, okay? But second, they have a big problem now. Campaigns are not just snapshots and sound bites. In a binary system like we have, there's contrasts. Contrasts aren't as easy in a 6-7-way race. That's why the Ross Perot, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton race was so hard to call in advance because nobody really knew. Were you leaning Perot? If you didn't like Perot, were you going to go Clinton or Bush? If you didn't like Bush, were you going to go Clinton or Perot? They're in binary races like we have now. Yeah, you got Jill Stein and others, but they're not polling anywhere within, a margin of error even for the poll. When you have a binary, a campaign is a contrast. It's an A to B contrast. It's this drug versus that drug. It's Pepsi versus Coke. The contrast could not be any worse. You've got a bunch of people on the left telling us we've got to listen to experts, whether it's get the COVID vaccine, wear the masks, all this bullshit they told us. Listen to the experts. The globe is melting. AOC says we're all going to be dead in 10 years. It's all bullshit. They tell us, but you got to listen to the science. You got to listen to the experts. So when you get an expert, a Border Patrol agent who literally works at the Border Patrol, that's what they do, saying we're all leaving, they know how bad Kamala Harris and a victory for Kamala Harris would be. And folks, if they leave, you're going to have absolute chaos at the border. Now, I want you to see how I put this together to show you again contrast, sound bites, snapshots. This is what matters in a freaking campaign. If you don't understand it, the show not for you. I'm sorry. Contrast this. The left says, listen to experts. You got a guy blowing up a headline saying, we're not doing this shit again. We're the experts on the border. This woman's going to destroy it. We're all going to leave. Then you got Trump yesterday. Trump, who has no problem sitting for hours at a time with anyone who wants to talk to him within reason, where he can get a message out, who has a platform. Trump goes and sits down with a not-so-friendly moderator yesterday at Bloomberg. The Bloomberg guy who runs Bloomberg, obviously not a right-leaning howlet, sits down with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, this is how he talks to the experts. Folks, this was a devastating contrast yesterday in what a campaign's supposed to look like versus a total shit show, the Kamala campaign. Watch this. Check this out.
People are betting that your policies are going to drive up debt. They're going to drive up inflation. So they're going to drive up interest rates. Are the investors wrong?
Yeah, I had 4 years no inflation. But
that was when you had much.
I had 4 years. It's better than that. And Biden, who has no idea where the hell he is, okay? Biden went 2 years with no inflation because he inherited from me. And then they started spending money like drunken sailors.
Folks, you've got a guy pretending to be an expert on the economy saying, a bunch of expert economists, wait, are these the same ones who told us inflation would be transitory. Are these the same ones that told us Joe Biden had some economic inflation reduction act that would reduce inflation and wound up going back up again? Folks, experts are bullshit. I want you to look this up. Can I give you a bit of homework? Homework, everybody hates homework. I'm sorry. But in this case, take the negative connotation off it. I want you to look this up, this term, the pretense of knowledge by Hayek and others. The idea that experts can figure out a complex economy of 330 million people is frankly hilarious. It's so ridiculously stupid that the fact that we keep getting pumped full of propaganda by these pseudo experts who keep being proven wrong and that morons still believe them is hilarious. Are these the same experts, again, who told us masks work, the vaccine was going to stop the spread of COVID? Are these the same experts who told us, no, don't worry about inflation, it's transitory, i.e. it's going to go away quickly? It got worse. They don't know what they're talking about. You have to understand, they study. You want to understand why they suck so bad at what they do? A lot of these experts are not macro thinkers anymore. They've gotten their PhDs in some isolated area of economics, so walled off. It's like claiming you're an expert in baseball cards because you grew up with, say, Don Mattingly. You may know a lot about Don Mattingly and what he hit in high school. You have no idea about the baseball card market at all. You get what I'm saying? You're an expert in one little thing and you're expanding that little small subset of knowledge about this one baseball player, Don Mattingly, and assuming like you're an expert on the baseball card market. That's what happened. Look up the pretense of knowledge and listen to Hayek and others explain how this is fake knowledge. It's not real. Now, contrast that with the Border Patrol agent who's actually on the ground, who's telling you this is what I visually see every day. The economists, like this guy from Bloomberg saying, expert economists, that most of these idiots don't even own a business. They have no freaking idea. They've never run an operation. They don't know about CapEx, working capital, opportunity costs. They don't know how to leapfrog interest rates. They have no idea what they're talking about. Trump has actually been there. He's actually done it. When I say been there and done it, I'm not only talking about business, I'm talking about the presidency. You can say all you want. Expert economists said inflation will explode under Donald Trump. Donald Trump's answer there is beautiful. That's strange. I was the president, and we didn't have inflation at all. We hit the same Fed marker they say they want to hit every year, 2% to grow the money supply. I don't agree with that, but that's what are you talking about? We've been there. There's a contrast. You see how Trump sets it up perfectly? He's like, what are you idiots talking about? There has been 4 years of the Trump presidency. There have been. You have an A-B design right in front of you. Folks, and it gets worse. Listen, I love science. I mean it. Real science, not fake science. I do. I'm actually obsessed with it. I also love social sciences, and I love pseudosciences too, like economics, which is a pseudoscience, but there are some principles of economics at work. Pleading ignorance doesn't work either. And I want you to see, again, the contrast in this campaign. I'm going to show you J.D. Vance coming up in a second, but Tampon Tim first. How does this look? This is Kamala Harris's vice president. They're pleading to you again. Listen to the experts, the PhD economists saying Trump's going to smash the economy despite having grown the economy. COVID people telling you to take the vaccine. They love to plead to experts, except when they think ignorance makes them look good. Here is this absolute bag, Tampon Tim. He said this out loud, trying to take a pot shot at a poor kid who grew up to become a Marine, a lawyer, a venture capitalist, and a successful businessman. His name is J.D. Vance. Tampon Tim wasn't done jack shit in his life and lied about what he did do. Actually said this out loud. Check this out.
Senator Vance, he became a media darling. He wrote a book about the place he grew up, but the premise was trashing that place where he grew up, rather than lifting it up. This guy's a venture capitalist cosplaying like he's a cowboy or something. I don't even know what a venture capitalist does most of the time.
Holy shit, is Tampon Tim? Did this guy got a tampon stuck in his medulla oblongata? You don't know what a venture capitalist does? Here's what they do. They invest money in an economy in selective sectors that they think are going to grow their business assets so they can invest in other companies. How dumb are you? You're actually a governor of a big, prominent state west of here, and you're running for vice president, and you don't know what a venture capitalist does, and you said it out loud? Well, and Justin said it right. There's like 5 or 6 things in it. I can't stand this guy, almost worse than Kamala Harris. He cosplaying as a cowboy. You didn't even know how to load your own gun. Justin has already volunteered, Justin B., to fly out, you dipshit, and show you how to load the shotgun while you were cosplaying. Look at this guy. Look at this. Who's cosplaying? Right. He's got someone just bought that shirt for him off an Amazon site, and they put in their favorite left-wing commie search engine, what kind of flannel shirt will make Tampon Tim look like a man? Look at this. I don't even know what a venture capitalist. Phony canoe. We know you don't, Tampon T. We know you know what tampons are. How freaking embarrassing. Cosplay as a cowboy. J.D. Vance was a U.S. Marine while you were engaging in stolen valor, telling people you were in all kinds of places, implying you were in combat. You're full of shit, man. The people you worked with in the military can't stand you. Cosplaying as a cowboy. Learn to load a freaking shotgun. It's not hard. Here, you want some innuendo? There's a hole. Stick it in. There's only one place to go there. What a moron. Taking a shot at a guy who grew up, and Hillbilly Elegy was not taking a shot at his small town. It was taking a shot at a lot of industrial policies that hollowed the small town out. Did you even see the movie, you dumb shit? I can't stand this guy, Tampon Tim. And I got to tell you, I am so proud of the fact that Cat Turd and I got that moniker out there, and it's going to be with him the rest of his life. The tampon guy, the hero with the tampon in the men's room. Contrast, fellas, ladies, contrast. Contrast that with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, who's got the balls to go to Tampon T's state that he ran into the ground, Minnesota, after supporting riots, after letting the city burn down. Here he shows up at the Minneapolis police precinct that was taken over, right in front of the people who were nearly killed during the Floyd riots. Tampon T did nothing about. And here he is right in the lion's den, taking it to Tampon T. Contrast. Listen to this.
First, I just want to say a little bit about what this building behind us represents. So you can see it's all boarded up. This is, of course, the headquarters of the 3rd Precinct, which was burned down. Thanks to Tim Walz's completely failed leadership. And, talking to these folks behind me, these are law enforcement officers. A lot of them were here, some of them for many days when this was allowed to happen. And remember, during those riots, these guys were given up for dead. Their police chief told them to stand down, hoping that it would save their lives. A couple of them just told me just now their fear that they would be killed by the violent mob that was attacking this precinct. And the important question is, what were their leaders, in particular, what was Governor Tim Walz doing to keep these officers safe and to bring order to the city of Minneapolis?
What was he doing? Notice how he asks in the form of a question. Folks, questions are always better than assertions. Why? Another lesson in politics, if you're ever going to run. Someone told me once, I cannot take credit for this. It's one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned. If you're ever in a room of people, start with a question. Their brain cannot stop processing. You can't. It's like when you do this, you dead check. You ever dead check? Well, hopefully you never had to dead check anyone. But if you learn this kind of stuff in the Secret Service, how to dead check people, you want to make sure they're dead. You put down a terrorist, you want to walk away, he gets up and shoots you. You know how to dead check? You do the sternum thing, or you do the eye poke. How is it a dead check? Because when you go like this, if they're alive and they're conscious, trust me, they're going to move. And there's no block, okay? Because maybe like the Three Stooges. No, it doesn't work. Then they know you're okay. What the hell was I even talking about there? I don't even know how I get it. Who knows? When the hell was it? Ask me what question? Oh, asking questions instead of making statements. Yes, you can. That's right. Thank you for the reminder. See, I guess sometimes even I get lost in it. I get lost. Wasn't that a song in the 80s? If you ask someone a question while you're doing a political speech rather than making an assertion, in other words, saying something like, hey, do you think tax cuts cost the government money, rather than saying tax cuts don't cost the government money, they instantly challenge the assertion while the question makes them process information. That's what JD's doing here. What was Tim Walz doing? Now he's hoping someone goes and looks up. What was Tim Walz doing? He was actively incentivizing the riots in his city. Is this what you want in a public safety, illegal immigration, inflation election? You want a guy in there who couldn't even control his own state? Man, are you shitting me? Folks, don't get cocky, though. I'm seeing a lot of this out there. We got to close strong. We got to run through the tape, and it is time to bury the gas pedal. We've got 19 days left. Folks, the election's already here. Georgia open to absolutely record numbers today in the early voting. Get out and vote early. Show up in person, bank your vote. Show up in person, bank your vote. Everybody I know, everyone, all the insiders I know that are with us in the MAGA movement are saying they need the early vote this time, or what they're going to do is they're going to play the red mirage narrative again. That's what they're going to do. We've got to steal the red mirage narrative from them. You know what the red mirage now? Let me write this down so I don't forget, because I got lost there. That doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. Happened on TV once. I was like, all right, screw it. We're going somewhere else. I'm going to take a quick break, and I want to explain to you why early voting matters. Justin's like, this isn't part of the show. It is now. Super important. Hey, Birch Gold. With the tax hikes proposed by Kamala, an almost 40% top income tax rate, 7% increase to the corporate tax, an unrealized capital gains tax, and studies showing she's going to add trillions to the current $2 trillion deficit over the next 10 years. You're probably thinking it's time to make more of your savings tax sheltered and inflation sheltered. That's why I trust the good people at Birch Gold Group to help you. Birch Gold will assist you in converting an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. And the best news, you don't pay a penny out of pocket. Just text the word Dan to 989898. Get a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just information on how you could fortify your savings before the crazy really hits. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers, you can trust Birch Gold too. Text Dan to the number 989898 for your free info kit today. Message and data rates apply. Folks, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you today with regards to political tactics and strategy. The left has this thing called the red mirage. Because Republicans in the past have traditionally voted on Election Day and not taken advantage of early voting, which I can't tell you enough is a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake for a number of reasons, including the fact that emergencies happen, internet wipeouts happen on Election Day. There are long lines. People get frustrated. Kids get sick. In Arizona, they ran out of printer paper. And who gets screwed? Republicans. It makes no sense if we're stuck with early voting, which I don't like, but we're stuck with it, to give the Democrats a massive head start in a foot race. It makes no sense. Zero. The red mirage is this phenomenon where it looks like the Republican is winning because we've shown up on Election Day and some of those ballots are counted first. And then what they do is they start counting the mail-ins and the early stuff, and the Democrats magically go, oh, look, we won. There's a way to prevent that. There is a way to, not to prevent the cheating. Some of them are going to cheat. But the degree of it, I think we can make this thing too big to rig. If you vote early, folks, the numbers, it will show in many states how many Republicans versus how many Democrats showed up to vote. It will show. There's nothing they can do about that. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't show who you voted for. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because you're a Republican who showed up, you may vote Harris. There are Democrats who show up who may very well vote Trump. All it shows is how many registered Republicans, Democrats, and independents showed up. This is what I'm getting at. If you vote early and it's, say, 100,000 Republican early voter lead, and how many Republicans showed up, not necessarily Trump votes, but Republicans show up. Folks, it makes it really, really hard on them for Election Day to mysteriously find that many more ballots. I'm not telling you it's impossible. I'm saying it really F's things up for them. Get out and vote early, please. Foot on the gas, floor that sucker, man. Get that Mustang, Camaro, Corvette, whatever the hell, Lamborghini you got, and that political Lamborghini, and floor that SOB and run through the damn tape. Because Kamala can't save herself. She is on a downward spiral like I have not seen since I was a young kid and the Dukakis campaign freaking imploded at the end. Dukakis was running against George H.W. Bush. He was leading in that race. And with like 3 to 4 months to go, what happened to him is happening to Kamala. The tank picture, the thing completely melted down. And the thing about the big Mo versus the no Mo, the momentum that Donald Trump has versus the no momentum Kamala Harris has, is it like momentum? If you understand physics, once that object comes to rest, it's a lot of energy to get it moving again. Trump is now rolling that ball downhill. Here's what I mean. Kamala is her worst weapon. Donald Trump shows up, answers questions for almost 2 hours in front of Bloomberg, a hostile questioner, just not almost interrogating Donald Trump. He does incredible. Sound bites are everywhere, all over the place. And here's the guy who probably is a Kamala fan, I don't even know, saying in the beginning, yeah, Kamala Harris didn't even want to show up. That's how scared this woman is. Check this out.
First is just for the record and for those people watching on television, the Economic Club of Chicago and Bloomberg both invited Vice President Harris to a similar interview about her economic plans that she has declined so far.
19 days. 19 days. Foot. Gas. No, this is not Karate Man. This is not Karate Man. Notice there was no, this is Karate Man. This is foot. And this is not kicking the ass either. Sometimes we do that. Kick him in here. May look similar. This is not Karate Man, nor the get to work. This is foot on. It all looks similar because I'm too old to make different movements because my muscles don't move anymore because I'm a rotting carcass. But I'm still vote. Justin, are you voting? Damn right you're voting. It does. If I find out you didn't vote, I'm looking up at your voter file. I'm going to be furious. It's straight. Folks, just a quick question for the chat. If Justin doesn't vote, should we fire him immediately? Bongino, if this isn't 99%, I know he's going to vote, but if he doesn't, should we fire him immediately? Okay, well, wait for Bongino's results. Justin, put them on the screen, and please do not manipulate the voter outcome to benefit yourself. Folks, there are 2 things. We got 19 days. I don't have time for bullshit. We got 19 days to run through the tape and win this thing and change America. Your country's not going to save itself. You are. As my friend Ginny Thomas says all the time, we are the leaders we've been waiting for. Don't wait for someone else to save the country. You do it. It's your country too. We're not Democrats. We're not automaton robots. We don't need some master central queen bee to tell us what to do. We do it on our own. We are political entrepreneurs. We are going to take the country and we're going to save it. And I'm telling you right now, there are 2 things. There are 2 things in my triage of important things we need to do on Election Day that are going to determine this election. Is that, yes, everybody's that you're out. You're totally out. You're fired. People are going with the Trump. You're fired. You're out. You're totally out of it. If he doesn't vote, now it's ridiculous. Like, I don't think there's a single no-winner. He's gone. He's gone. I mean, poor kid's going to vote. I mean, he always votes. He's gone. Get him out. You're fired. Get him out. Get him out. 2 things. You need to watch these 2 things. Pennsylvania and the minority black vote. Watch them. Because I'm telling you right now, although 20, 30 things matter in this election, it matter a lot. Wisconsin, Arizona, immigration, we get it. I'm just telling you as your friend, if PA goes 1 to 2 points, Pennsylvania for Trump, and the black vote, we get, oh, it's over. You're definitely out. Who are the 5% of people that are letting you not vote? Is that Bongino? Instantly banned. Instantly banned. Get him out of here. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Is that what? Hell yeah. Folks, Pennsylvania and the black vote. He wins Pennsylvania by 1 to 2 points or more. And he wins the black vote. He wins, say, 15 to 18% of the black vote. It's over. I'm telling you, it almost doesn't even matter what happens anywhere else. The race is over because the black vote will tip Wisconsin, Arizona, and other. There's just no chance. Okay? I say that because I've got 2 videos for you. They're a little bit longer than I typically play. They're about 1:20 or so. I try to keep these things to a minute. But man, I promise you, they are so worth your time. I am sensing something different in the black community. We've heard before, oh, black voters are getting upset with the terrible governance in Chicago and Cleveland and LA and New York and elsewhere. And it hasn't really moved the needle much in the Republican direction. There is something different about the Trump era. I got 2 videos coming up for you next. I want you to save them because they're really, really powerful. Last break of the show. I'm going to get to that. I got a lot more ahead, including a big scandal in Virginia with the Department of Justice trying to get illegals registered to vote. Don't go anywhere. Quick break. Hey, I've been using the Bone Charge infrared sauna blanket and red lights face mask ever since they sent them to me. I can't recommend them enough. Paula was using the red light face mask last night, too. It's great for your skin. Amazing. I turned to the sauna blanket because sauna, if you just look up what it does, it's amazing for muscle recovery, detoxification. It's a game changer for me. It's easy to use. You wrap yourself up. You let the infrared heat just work its magic. I've noticed really an incredible difference in not just my recovery from workouts. Listen, I'm 50. I don't recover fast anymore. But also in my sleep. Check it out. The sauna puts me to sleep. The red light face mask is equally impressive. Paula uses it to help improve her skin. It also helps you sleep. There's something about red light. Reduce inflammation, too. She's seen some amazing results. Her skin looks smoother, more vibrant. The overall tone's evened out. It's like having a little mini spa treatment right in your own house. If you're thinking about trying them out, you're in luck. Head to bonecharge.com/Bongino, BONCHARGE, and use the code Bongino at checkout to get 15% off. These products are amazing. They made a really positive impact on my life. I'm obsessed with life hacks. Folks, when you hit 35, 40, 50, 60 years old, take advantage of every angle you can get. You're home for life hacks. Bone Charge. Use code Bongino at BONCHARGE, bonecharge.com/Bongino, and save 15%. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. Not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. And our last sponsor today is Blackout Coffee. You know I love Blackout Coffee, right? It is the official coffee of the Dan Bongino Show. Yes! Blackout Coffee uses premium grade coffee beans. The owner, by the way, John, loves America. And that's great. We love that. But being American's about being an entrepreneur and producing good products too. You can't just say, hey, you know what? I love America in the Second Amendment. I want you to buy my product. He has the best coffee out there, premium grade coffee beans, the best customer service around. I personally recommend Blackout Coffee. I love it. Here's my recommendations. The dark chocolate, amazing. Dark chocolate flavor. The cinnamon French toast, amazing. The blueberry crumble, incredible. Skip the lines, order online. The folks at Blackout Coffee ship within 48 hours of roasting. Do me a favor. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. See what I'm talking about. Don't drink that corporate, crap coffee, brown water. It's garbage. Blackout Coffee. That's our coffee here. blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Make the switch today to Blackout Coffee. You're going to love it. Thanks, Blackout. Let's get to these videos. I want to show you this first because this is something, Justin, you've been here a while. I've been talking about this for a long time. To black voters out there, I forget black voters, to black citizens of this country. This is your country. It's our country. It's all of ours. Scroll that out, by the way. It drives me nuts. I want to make a really pure, candid, heartfelt pitch to you. Unlike the Democrat Party that takes you for granted. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all Democrats don't like you or hate you or whatever. I don't know that. It'd be ridiculous for me to say that. I am here to tell you one thing, however, I am absolutely sure about. The conservative Republican Party is your home. You love your families. You love your jobs. You love being able to go out and work and keep your money and send your kids to good schools. There is nothing different about what your values, our values. I know I've knocked on thousands of doors in primarily wealthy middle class and even some struggling communities who happen to be black, white, and otherwise, and talked to thousands of black voters. The values are absolutely no different. We want you in our MAGA movement so badly. We will welcome you with open arms. I've issued a challenge many times. Justin, you've heard me say it. Go to a MAGA rally. I'm just asking you to go. Go one time. Go to a Trump rally. Because everything you've been told about these bullshit artists from the left about us is fake. And I can prove it to you. They can't. They're going to tell you, they're Nazis, Mussolini, Hitler. They kill people at these rallies. Children are sacrificed. They rip hearts out and eat them. Okay, that's all bullshit. Of course, they just made it all up because they're freaking crazy. I'm just asking you to go and watch how you were openly embraced. Unlike the Democrats that take the black vote for granted, we are sitting here on bended knee saying, just give us a look, man. We share the same values. I want you to listen to this black man who went to a Trump rally and the experience he had. This, I promise, this is worth your time. Check this out.
Bro, I just had my man. There was a Trump rally out in Long Island. I had my man Jamar Milton go on behalf of the God Pod with Lord Jamar on YouTube. He said it was packed as fuck. He said, as a black man, he felt no racism whatsoever out there. They actually like brought him in type of shit. You know what I mean? Like he felt welcomed to be there by the people that was there. Who he didn't feel welcomed by were the demonstrators that were against Trump. They were the ones looking at him like, oh, what are you doing over there? Like, and he didn't have any Trump regalia or anything like that. He was just there to do interviews, just to say, why are you voting for Trump? Why are you voting for Kamala? Like, and he was being harassed by what we have now termed as radical Democrats, okay? Because there are radical Democrats out there. What do you think that was who tried to assassinate Trump? Those are radical Democrats. Y'all are acting like the Republicans are the ones with the guns and all that, but radical Democrats have now twice tried to kill this nigga.
Man, folks, I'm just putting that out there. It ain't me talking, it's him. I'm not black. I don't know the black experience. I'm Italian, Irish, and German, and English, and French, and whatever. I don't know. A lot of stuff. I'm just telling you, it doesn't matter. There is nothing predetermined about your life, about the melanin component of your skin. That what people are telling you about the conservative movement, the MAGA movement, even the Republican Party, which hasn't been great at this, I get it, is bullshit. Go see what this gentleman did. Go look for yourself. Just go look. That's all I'm asking. I promise you, his experience is not anomalous. It is not in any way unique. I promise you. How many people in the chat been to a Trump rally? I bet it's a lot of you. Let me see. Can you vouch for me? This is exactly the experience Hispanic men, women, Asian women, Jewish women, Arab women, men, black men and women. Nobody cares. They're happy you're there. They're just happy to see you. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm seeing something on the ground, and this phenomenon with the black vote. Look, I've been writing down some questions for President Trump for our interview on Friday, our live stream. One of them I want to bring up to him is I'm telling you his lasting gift to the Republican Party, I promise you, is going to be he is the first Republican candidate in 30, 40 years to break through to the black community and crack that liberal messaging machine. That is going to be his best gift. Now, I said I have two videos. This one's a little different. This isn't about a Trump rally. This is a black woman in Chicago in front of a bunch of bureaucrat politicians on her council or whatever. And man, she is absolutely redlining over the bullshit Democrats have pulled in this once great city. And you want to talk about, is it bad? I actually wore this shirt today because of this clip. Is it bad enough yet? I don't know about everyone else, but it's definitely bad enough for this lady. Get ready, man. Get your blackout coffee for this one. This is badass. Check this out.
In the words of Malcolm X, who told us what? That the white liberal is the worst enemy to the black man. Yes. And he is coming up in here acting like y'all representing some social justice.
Say that,
but all along, all you're doing is trying to use black people to find a reason to make some money. Let me tell y'all something over there. We're done. The Democratic Party is done.
Abuse the black American.
Gonna come in here and gonna clean it up. Do just like R.A. Jr. Just do like that Tulsa lady. You better get up out the Democratic Party. Save yourself. Because if y'all don't, we coming for your seats. We ain't taking no disrespect from a bunch of people who have broke into the country and now have completely broke the city, have completely disgraced the United States of America. America is a disgrace. The number one function of a president is to be the commander-in-chief. You tell me anything about a Kamala Harris that look like she can protect this country after y'all done sat up here and let it get overridden with a bunch of illegal. Y'all done sat up here and put America's hands in all kind of wars. And you telling me a tampon man that ran from duty, come here, who don't know what race she is, gonna protect this country? The devil is a lie.
This is Karate Man. Double leg. The jump kick. The side kick. The roundhouse. The tie kick. Body. This may be the longest Karate Man ever. Doing like cardio today. I get all sweaty doing karate. You're telling me a tampon man's... Double Karate Man. Chops everywhere. Karate Man everywhere in the chat. The chat is blowing up a Karate Man. The chat is blowing up a Karate Man. Folks, why are we the Superman? Look at this freaking chat. Karate Man everywhere. Karate Man everywhere. I'm telling you, something is happening. I've never seen anything like this, ever. This is happening everywhere. Donald Trump has broken through the messaging wall the Democrats have put up. Don't listen to these Republicans. They're fill in the blank, some expletive they call us, or some ridiculous analogy. Trump has broken through that completely. There are going to be generational changes to the Republican Party. Generational changes. That was my cardio for the day. I think my heart rate's like 180 right now. Wish I still had the Oura ring, I'd tell you. Not as... Folks, this is real. It is our job as conservatives, supporters of the MAGA movement, and Republicans, the good ones at least. I get it, we have our mutts too, unfortunately. It is our job to go out and get this message to the Black and Hispanic community that for so long has been taken for granted and neglected by Democrats who do this to the Black community. That's what they do. And this medical records thing going on right now is another fiasco. I have never seen a campaign in such chaos, folks. Why are we the supermarket on this show? Anybody in the chat know? Because we bring receipts every time. The campaign is freaking out, the Kamala Harris campaign. There's stories now that the campaign is in disarray. I'll play it for you tomorrow. There's Politico pieces and others. The campaign's in disarray in Pennsylvania. Why do people do that? Because they're the Pennsylvania people who get paid for being political consultants on how to win Pennsylvania. Think about it. Democrats and Republicans hire them to win the state. They are terrified Kamala Harris is losing, so they're pretextually putting out narratives trying to blame her so they don't lose money in the future. Follow the money, bro. Follow the money, and this will all make sense. That is why these stories are coming out. You got Kamala Harris appearing on Fox News. Someone told her, you got to do something to get some Republican votes, you're going to lose. And then what does she do? The same day they agree to that, she comes out with this thing attacking Columbus Day. You European disease spreaders. Some left-winger got in her ear and said, hey, say something crazy the nutty communist liberals are like. She doesn't know who to listen to. That's where this crazy medical records thing came from. Someone said, hey, throw a Hail Mary. Let's imply Donald Trump is like going to die from some disease and he's hiding it. Where'd that come from? Who the F knows, folks? They made it up. They hid Joe Biden's condition for what, 6 years running for office and in the presidency? They hid this guy's obvious cognitive decline. You can see it. The guy's got SpaghettiOs for brains. You can see it. And now all of a sudden they're all concerned about medical records? I really like this guy on CNN, which is, again, how they haven't fired this guy, Scott Jennings, I have no idea. I have no idea how they keep letting him on the air. This guy goes on CNN and speaks the truth. Here he is saying exactly that. Like, hey, Kamala, you really sure you want to rock and roll with this medical records thing? Because I'm not sure this is really a winning argument for you. Check this out.
I think a couple things. Number one, if I were Harris, I wouldn't be leaning too heavily into who's hiding what kind of medical conditions of people who are or want to be the president, given her role in lying about the condition of Joe Biden for the last 4 years. That's number one. Number two, I don't think this works for her. I think I'm back in the same bucket I was earlier. You're not selling your own candidacy. You're punching Donald Trump in the same way every other Democrat we've ever heard from for the last 8-9 years has punched this guy. That's not the problem with your campaign. We've heard all the attacks on Trump. If she cannot sell her own candidacy any better than just punching on him, for her, if I were in her camp, I just don't know it's going to be enough. That's my view.
But here,
you know, I really like this guy. I've never met him, folks, by the way. A lot of these people, you know, you run into people in green rooms and stuff. If you're in, you know, it's no different if you're a local carpenter. You're at a job site. You see the same HVAC people over and over. When you do this and, you know, you travel over, you meet the same crowd. I've never met this guy. At least I don't think I have. What did he say there that was wrong? You have thrown every single argument at Donald Trump. Oh, my gosh, he's a felon. He's an outlaw. He did this. He did that. Well, none of it's actually true. You made it all up. And this is your closing argument? I need to see his cholesterol. This is your closing argument. You're like, you know, Dr. Joey Bag of Donuts. We need to see your cholesterol levels, sir. This is it? This is the best you got. I've got an idea. Let's see the amyloid plaque levels of Joe Biden's brain, and let's ask Kamala Harris how she didn't realize there were physical manifestations to an amyloid problem via some kind of dementia issue. Let's ask that, and then we'll get to Donald Trump's cholesterol levels. This is not an argument, folks. You know what it is? It's this. What am I doing? I used to. Dan Hampton sent me a football one time. The Chicago Bears who had love. Dan Hampton sent me over. It's a Hail Mary. That's all this is. They don't know what to do. They're throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks and what doesn't. I want to get to some really important stuff. This segment here is critical. I gave you a lot of good news here in the beginning of the show. The Border Patrol soundbite, we're not doing this shit again, which I think, in my opinion, is devastating. The campaign collapse, the chaos, the Bloomberg event, everything yesterday went right for Donald Trump. Knock on wood, it continues, foot on the gas. The bad news, folks, they are going to cheat. There are 12 million illegals in the country, or probably, honestly, more, but I'll play it on the low end so we can't be accused of bias or anything, right? Say there's 12 million, it's probably 20. If even 1% of them vote, it's a lot of people. And especially in a tight election, it can hurt. If they try to vote or if someone votes for them on a ballot. That's what liberals don't talk about. Oh, illegals won't vote. They know it's illegal. Yeah, what if someone gets a ballot and votes for them? I didn't think of that, man. That's why the state of Virginia and the Republican governor you're going to see here, his name is, he's a Republican, Glenn Youngkin, is trying to clean up the rolls, saying something really simple. We have a form. If you cannot say you're a citizen, you cannot register to vote. You never believe it. The Biden administration, actually you will because you know they're hacks, is suing the state of Virginia to make sure said illegals, not citizens also can, because it's not always the same thing. Some people could be in the legal process but not citizens yet. Some are just illegal. You still can't register. They're suing the state of Virginia, the Biden team. Now, Glenn Youngkin went on CNN and corrected the record here. They've given people multiple chances to just say one simple thing. This is going to be a fact sheet for you on what this law is because liberals are already freaking out, telling people, oh, no, this is going to kick people and purge the rolls, kick people off. No, you get multiple chances to fix it. Youngkin does a masterful job on CNN correcting the record here. Check this out.
Why not just honor that 90-day period?
Well, let me just first begin. It's anything but a purging program.
It begins with someone identifying themselves as a non-citizen. And I guess I would posit back to you, do you think that non-citizens, when they've self-identified as a non-citizen, should stay on the voter roll and therefore be in a position to potentially vote in a presidential election?
I don't think any non-citizen should vote. How are they self-identifying? How does that happen?
They actually tick a box that says, I am a non-citizen, or they do not answer the question that they are a citizen, and therefore they self-identify that they are not a citizen in the United States of America. And this is why this is so out of bounds in my mind from the Justice Department. They fully understand this. They understand the process starts with a person self-identifying as a non-citizen, and then there is a match with that person's name on the voter rolls, and they are given not just one, but up to 3 times in order to try to cure it. And this is why I find this to be a very, very unreal moment that is stunning, that they filed this suit 25 days before a presidential election, when in fact this has been going on in accordance with our Constitution, the federal Constitution, and state law since 2006.
Folks, you're given multiple opportunities to tell people you're a citizen of the United States and you don't take it, then you don't go on the voter rolls. It's as simple as that. Why does the Biden administration, why are they suing? They are suing because they want non-citizens and illegals on the voting rolls. That's what has me concerned about this upcoming election. Also, folks, the media has the insane propaganda, communist agitprop media has gone so far off the deeper end, because they were in the deep end before. At this point, they've thrown away any shred of human dignity at all. CBS, which is embroiled right now in monstrous scandals, editing the Kamala Harris interview to make her answer appear more cogent, coherent, the Ta-Nehisi Coates scandal, where they're lecturing a reporter for asking questions. This thing has blown up on CBS. You would think CBS would take a step back and say, hey, man, they're not releasing the transcript of the Kamala Harris interview. This is an opportunity for us to course correct. They did it again. Did you see this story? They did it again. Speaker Mike Johnson goes on CBS and is asked a specific question about FEMA and some funding. This is, if you're watching or listening, on Apple or Spotify and you want, it's easier to watch. You're going to see first. You're going to see his actual answer he gave. And then you're going to see the edited answer. And you're going to see they're not the same thing. CBS spliced out a huge chunk of the answer to apparently make it seem like basically he didn't know what he was talking about. They did it again. Watch the evidence yourself. Check this out.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. And when I was there on the ground, and you should go, bring the cameras and talk to the people there. They'll tell you, don't take politicians' words for this or the administration's word. Talk to the people there on the ground. They had not been provided the resources almost 2 weeks out from the storm that they desperately needed. And when I was there, 13 days post the storm hitting that state, people are still being rescued. They're stuck in the higher elevations in the mountains because the roads are down and all the rest. So they need every available resource and all hands on deck. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
Folks, it is clear Mike Johnson and his office did something really smart there. Did you get why the audio in the second part, the real answer, was lower? Because they had set up a camera to make sure that CBS didn't pull a Kamala Harris and edit the answer. That's why you're hearing that on his smartphone. Listen, let me just throw this out there to Republican politicians, candidates, and activists. You should not go on CBS. It is a huge mistake. But if for some reason you feel compelled to do so, you need to set up your own camera and say, I'm filming this thing too to protect myself from your obvious editorial efforts to make us look stupid. And if they don't want to do that, you are absolutely insane to go on that network. You are a crazy person. CBS is full-blown Soviet commie propaganda now. He had the receipts to back it up. Of course, it's not just CBS. I got a lot to get through in these next few minutes, so please don't go anywhere. I want to show you this other segment, too. How bad the media has gotten in their desperation moments in the final 19 days to save Kamala Harris from herself. Here's Kristen Welker, who I don't know what this woman's done. I don't know what this woman once at least pretended to try to be a journalist. She's now become a full-blown clown. Here she is beclowning herself yet again, getting owned. But Mike Johnson's back on this show. This is NBC. And just absolutely making up talking points about FEMA funds. Check this out.
Kamala Harris's numbers are dropping in the polls, and she just said in her own words, you saw the tape there, there is no difference between her and Joe Biden. The Biden policies, Bidenomics, all the things they champion are destroying the country, and everybody knows that, and that's why Donald Trump is elected. Republicans are going to win the Senate and the House.
Mr. Speaker, we should note that FEMA funds were actually redirected on Donald Trump's watch to deal with the migrant issue. Let me ask you, you mentioned the medical records.
No, ma'am. No, wait a minute. No, hold on, wait a minute. Wait, facts are important. That is a new program that started in 2020 under Joe Biden. That funding wasn't necessary under Trump's administration because we secured the border. We didn't invite illegal aliens and dangerous people into the country. That's a Biden-Harris policy, and everybody knows it.
Folks, she just made that up. She just made that up. It was a completely new fund. She just made it up. No dignity at all. This woman's had to correct herself on the air now out of pure embarrassment. So Kamala Harris is going to interview with Bret Baier tonight. I need you all to do me a favor. I think Bret's going to conduct a fair interview. I do. We'll see tomorrow, and we're obviously going to cover it. The interview will be on Fox. Kamala Harris, I think, is going to completely collapse. But he was putting out a feeler for questions. Send this to Bret. I'm going to send it to. I think we need to find out why Kamala Harris hasn't told us what she was up to at the DNC on January 6th with the pipe bomb. Here is one of the few interviews she's ever given where she's even mentioned the day. And I want you to notice here, hat tip Julie Kelly, how she implies here that she was at the Capitol when the insurrection, air quotes, went down. She wasn't. Why is she lying? Bret should ask her this. Check this out.
May I ask, was the TV on? Did someone say, Madam Vice President-elect, you got to see this, come? How did that unfold?
I was at the Capitol that morning, and then I was in a meeting, and I was told that I should leave. And then I was taken to a secure location with my husband. We watched in horror.
You did not. You may have watched in horror, but you were not at the Capitol, Kamala Harris. Julie Kelly has an amazing tweet about this. Here's an angle she notes on Kamala Harris's role on January 6th. No one mentions her being there the entire day at the DNC where the pipe bomb was found. Why? I'm telling you why. And Bret can get to the bottom of it. Because the pipe bomb was plan A. That was going to be a distraction to stop people from questioning the vote count and to shut it all down. They didn't need it when the breach at the Capitol happened. So they're desperately trying to make the story go away. And Kamala Harris either knew about it or was told later. That was the original plan. Pipe bomb. Everybody stop talking about the election. These MAGA people are trying to kill us. Julie notes, Mark Milley furiously making calls that day. Didn't contact Kamala Harris, Mitch McConnell. No one's concerned that pipe bomb was found outside of her location. Why does nobody know what Kamala Harris was up to at the DNC that day? It is the single most important question. Bret, if you can, ask it, because no one has had the guts to ask her this question. What were you doing at the DNC during the most important moment of your life at the Capitol, the certification of you as the vice president-elect? Why were you there? That's what I'd ask.